Few stories capture fans' attention, quite like the ones that hint at a life-changing decision behind the scenes. This time, the conversation centers on Can Yaman after a surprising claim began circulating online. According to recent reports and entertainment discussions, a former assistant has allegedly shared details suggesting that the actor once walked away from a 3-year professional agreement in order to return to Istanbul. While the story has sparked intense curiosity, many of the details remain unconfirmed, making it important to separate public speculation from verified information. For years, Can Yaman has built an international career that extends far beyond Turkey. His projects, public appearances, and collaborations have introduced him to audiences across Europe, creating a reputation that few actors achieve in such a short period of time. Because of that success, the idea that he might willingly step away from a long-term opportunity immediately caught the attention of fans. Supporters quickly began asking the same question. Why would someone at the peak of an international career choose a different path? That question has fueled countless discussions across social media platforms. Some fans believe the reported decision reflects a desire to stay connected to personal roots, while others think professional priorities may have changed behind the scenes. Without official confirmation, every explanation remains only a theory. Yet the mystery itself has become part of the story. The reported comments attributed to the former assistant have added another layer of intrigue. According to entertainment discussions, the assistant allegedly suggested that the decision was not driven primarily by financial considerations. Instead, the claim points toward personal motivations that may have carried greater importance than any long-term contract. If accurate, that would present a fascinating contrast to the image many people associate with international success. In an industry where long-term agreements are often viewed as career milestones, choosing a different direction would naturally surprise both fans and industry observers. Of course, it is also worth remembering that entertainment stories often evolve as new information becomes available. Initial reports sometimes leave out important context, while later interviews or official statements can paint a very different picture. For that reason, it is essential to approach stories like this carefully, rather than treating every online claim as confirmed fact. Even so, the discussion highlights something audiences have always found compelling about Can Yaman's career. Beyond the television roles and public appearances, fans remain interested in the personal decisions that shape his journey. They are often just as curious about the choices made away from cameras as they are about the performances seen on screen. Some observers believe returning to Istanbul, if the reports are accurate, could represent more than a simple change of location. For many public figures, a city can symbolize family, familiarity, creative inspiration, or the beginning of an entirely new chapter. Those possibilities have encouraged fans to revisit previous interviews, searching for clues that might help explain the reported decision. At the same time, others caution against drawing quick conclusions. Public figures frequently balance complex professional commitments with private considerations that never become public knowledge. A decision that appears surprising from the outside may actually result from a combination of personal, professional, and practical factors. As interest in the story continues to grow, one thing is certain: curiosity surrounding Can Yaman remains as strong as ever. Whether the reported account ultimately proves accurate or not, it has once again placed the spotlight on the choices that define a career beyond headlines and contracts. And as more discussions emerge, an even bigger question begins to take shape. If stepping away from a 3-year agreement was only part of the story, what was happening behind the scenes that convinced him such a dramatic decision was worth making? That is where the conversation becomes even more intriguing. As conversations surrounding the reported decision continued to spread, fans began looking beyond the headline itself. The focus gradually shifted from the alleged contract to the circumstances that may have surrounded it. While no official statement has confirmed the story in full, the discussion has encouraged many people to revisit Can Yaman's recent career moves, public appearances, and interviews in search of possible clues. One of the biggest questions involves timing. If the reported 3-year agreement truly existed, when was it supposedly offered? Some online commentators believe it may have coincided with a period when Can Yaman's international profile was expanding rapidly. New projects, promotional events, and collaborations had placed him in front of audiences across multiple countries. making him one of the most recognizable Turkish actors on the global stage. From the outside, accepting another long-term international commitment might have appeared like the obvious choice. Large contracts often provide stability, visibility, and opportunities to work with respected production companies. For many actors, turning down such an offer would seem almost unimaginable. Yet personal priorities do not always follow public expectations. Throughout the entertainment industry, there are numerous examples of performers who have stepped away from high-profile opportunities because they wanted more control over their schedules, a different creative direction, or simply a chance to spend more time close to family and familiar surroundings. These decisions can surprise fans, but they also remind audiences that careers are shaped by far more than financial considerations. That broader perspective has become part of the conversation surrounding Can Yaman. Rather than focusing only on the reported contract, many fans have started asking what success actually means for someone whose career has already crossed international borders. Is success measured only by bigger projects and longer contracts? Or can it also involve choosing the environment where someone feels most inspired and comfortable? Those questions have produced a wide range of opinions online. Some supporters believe returning to Istanbul, if the reports are accurate, could represent a desire to reconnect with familiar people, places, and professional relationships. Others suggest that working closer to home might provide greater creative freedom or allow new opportunities that international audiences have not yet seen. At the same time, many fans have urged caution. Without verified information, they argue that it is impossible to know the full context behind any reported decision. Headlines often simplify complex situations, while the reality behind professional negotiations can involve countless details that remain private. Interestingly, the reported comments attributed to the former assistant have also sparked curiosity about the role assistants play in the entertainment industry. People working behind the scenes often witness the demanding schedules, constant travel, and difficult choices that public figures face every day. Even so, any personal recollections or reported comments should always be viewed as individual perspectives rather than definitive accounts of events. Another reason the story continues attracting attention is because it presents a different image of celebrity life. Audiences often assume that every career decision revolves around money or prestige. However, many successful professionals eventually reach a point where personal satisfaction, balance, and long-term happiness become just as important as the next major opportunity. Whether or not that applies in this particular situation remains unknown, but the discussion itself has resonated with many viewers. It reminds people that behind every headline is a human being making choices that outsiders rarely see in full. Meanwhile, entertainment journalists and fan communities continue monitoring for any official clarification that might provide additional context. Until then, much of the conversation remains based on reports, interpretations, and speculation, rather than confirmed facts. Still, one element of the story refuses to fade. If the reported decision truly reflected something more personal than professional ambition, what exactly was important enough to outweigh a major international opportunity? That lingering question has become the heart of the discussion, and the next piece of the puzzle may be even more surprising. As the story continued gaining attention, the discussion gradually evolved from a single reported decision into a broader conversation about career choices, personal values, and the pressures of international success. Whether or not every detail circulating online proves accurate, one thing became increasingly clear. Audiences were fascinated not only by the possibility of a rejected contract, but also by what such a decision might reveal about priorities behind the spotlight. In today's entertainment industry, actors often face opportunities that appear extraordinary from the outside. International productions can offer global exposure, financial security, and the chance to collaborate with acclaimed directors and production teams. Yet those opportunities frequently come with demanding schedules, extended travel, and long periods away from familiar surroundings. Because of that reality, fans began asking whether public perception sometimes overlooks the personal side of professional success. Can Yaman has spent years building a career that reaches audiences in multiple countries. His popularity has extended well beyond television screens through interviews, public appearances, charity events, and social media engagement. That visibility has naturally increased interest in every reported career move, making even unconfirmed stories travel quickly across fan communities. Several entertainment commentators have pointed out that celebrities often become the subject of narratives that grow larger each time they are shared. A single reported statement can be repeated across websites, social media accounts, and discussion forums until it begins to sound like established fact, even when important details remain unverified. That is why many observers continue encouraging audiences to wait for official confirmation before drawing firm conclusions. At the same time, speculation itself often reveals what fans value most. Many supporters admire the idea of someone placing personal fulfillment ahead of career expectations. Others see the reported story as an example of staying connected to one's roots, despite international recognition. Whether those interpretations reflect reality or simply the hopes of fans remains uncertain, but they demonstrate the emotional connection many people feel toward Can Yaman's journey. Another interesting aspect of the conversation involves Istanbul itself. For countless artists, returning to a familiar city can represent much more than changing locations. A city may hold family memories, trusted friendships, creative inspiration, or professional relationships built over many years. Even after achieving international recognition, many public figures continue describing home as the place where they feel most grounded. If the reported decision was influenced by similar emotions, it would certainly explain why so many fans have responded with understanding rather than surprise. Yet without direct confirmation from those involved, such interpretations remain possibilities rather than established facts. The entertainment industry has witnessed similar situations before. Actors, musicians, and filmmakers have occasionally paused international careers to focus on personal projects, reconnect with loved ones, or simply redefine what success means to them. Those moments often remind audiences that public achievements tell only part of a much larger story. Meanwhile, discussions surrounding the alleged comments from the former assistant continue generating debate. Some fans consider behind-the-scenes perspectives valuable because they may offer insights unavailable elsewhere. Others argue that every account reflects an individual viewpoint and should, therefore, be interpreted carefully until supported by official information. That balanced approach has become increasingly important in today's digital environment, where headlines can spread around the world within minutes. Stories often evolve rapidly, and additional context may emerge long after the first reports appear. As a result, patience and critical thinking remain essential whenever widely shared entertainment claims begin circulating online. Even with those uncertainties, interest in Can Yaman shows no sign of slowing down. Every new appearance, interview, or public event is now examined by fans looking for clues that might support or contradict the ongoing reports. Sometimes the smallest detail becomes the center of major discussions, demonstrating just how closely audiences follow his career. And now, perhaps the biggest question remains unanswered. If the reported contract was only one chapter in a much larger story, what ultimately influenced the direction of Can Yaman's journey? The final part brings together everything that has been discussed, examines what is actually known, and explores why this story continues to capture the imagination of fans around the world. As the discussion surrounding this reported story continues, one important point remains unchanged. There has been no official confirmation establishing every detail that has circulated online. While entertainment reports and fan conversations have fueled widespread curiosity, the complete picture is still known only to the people directly involved. That distinction is essential because public speculation often moves much faster than verified information. Even so, the story has resonated with audiences for a reason. Rather than focusing solely on the reported 3-year agreement, many fans have found themselves reflecting on a much broader question. What truly defines success? Is it measured by the size of a contract, the number of international productions, or the ability to make choices that align with personal priorities? For many observers, that question is what transformed this report from a simple entertainment headline into a conversation about life itself. Throughout his career, Can Yaman has consistently attracted attention not only because of his acting projects, but also because of the decisions that shape his public journey. Every new role, interview, or appearance tends to generate discussion among fans eager to understand the direction of his career. That level of interest naturally means that any reported behind-the-scenes story quickly becomes the subject of worldwide conversation. The claims discussed in this video eventually receive official clarification. They may provide valuable insight into an important moment in his professional life. On the other hand, if future information presents a different version of events, it would simply demonstrate how quickly early reports can evolve as more reliable details become available. This is why responsible reporting matters. Entertainment news often begins with limited information. As additional interviews, statements, or official announcements emerge, the original narrative may become clearer or change entirely. For viewers, approaching these stories with curiosity while remaining open to updated information is always the most balanced approach. One reason this particular discussion has captured so much attention is because it highlights something audiences rarely see: the difficult choices that successful public figures sometimes face behind closed doors. Career opportunities, personal goals, family considerations, creative ambitions, and long-term plans can all influence decisions that outsiders may never fully understand. Fans have also noted that Can Yaman has repeatedly demonstrated an ability to adapt throughout different stages of his career. Whether working on domestic productions or reaching international audiences, he has continued building a profile that attracts attention across multiple countries. That adaptability may be one of the reasons why every reported career decision receives such intense public interest. Another lesson from this story is how powerful fan communities have become in the digital age. Within hours, discussions can spread across social media platforms, online forums, entertainment websites, and video channels, creating global conversations around even a single reported claim. While that enthusiasm reflects genuine admiration, it also reinforces the importance of distinguishing between confirmed facts and ongoing speculation. Ultimately, the reported comments attributed to a former assistant represent only one part of a much larger conversation. Without official verification, they remain claims that should be considered carefully rather than accepted as definitive truth. Respecting that distinction allows fans to enjoy the discussion while remaining fair to everyone involved. Perhaps that is why this story continues to fascinate people around the world. It is not simply about a reported contract or a possible return to Istanbul. It is about the choices individuals make when balancing ambition, personal fulfillment, and the unpredictable nature of life in the public eye. Whether future developments confirm, clarify, or completely reshape this narrative, one thing is certain: Can Yaman remains one of the most closely followed Turkish actors on the international stage, and every new chapter of his career will continue to inspire discussion among fans everywhere. What do you think? If you had to choose between a prestigious, long-term international opportunity and returning to a place that truly feels like home, which path would you take? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next update from the world of entertainment.